Hi kids, welcome back to another episode of Gold and Silver for Kids. And what I want to talk about here is the definition of a dollar. Back when the United States was first created, just a few years after George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and everything created the United States, there was something called the Coinage Act. And that was back in the year 1792. And what they did was they defined what a dollar was going to be before there were any dollars in existence. They defined what this is. And what the definition of a dollar is: a weight of a metal, a weight of silver. A dollar is just under 3/4 of an ounce of this. That's what a dollar is supposed to be, and they have not changed that law. They just ignore it. The way they replaced all of this, the way they tricked us into using this used a promise. This was not, the paper currency was never money. But at first, it was an IOU for money, and it said so right on there. It would say, this note certifies that there have been deposited in the Treasury of the United States $1 silver dollar payable to the bearer on demand. And the $20 bill used to say, this certifies that there have been deposited in the Treasury of the United States $20 in gold coin payable to the bearer. The bearer means the person that has it. Payable to the bearer on demand. So you could go into any bank, slap your currency down on the counter, and say, I want my money, and they would give you this. This was always money. This was currency. And then they slowly replaced these IOUs that are called bearer certificates. These IOUs, they replaced them with IOUs for IOUs. These are still Federal Reserve notes. They just don't say what they owe you. A note is an IOU. When you give your note to somebody, you say, I owe you such and such, and you sign it. That's your note. Well, this is a note from the Federal Reserve that they owe you something. And what they owe you, if you bring in 20 of these, they owe you one of these. If you've got one of these, they owe you 5 of these. It's been a bait and switch, which means they got us used to one thing and then they replaced that thing with something else. So they switched us from real money to what I believe is dishonest currency. But the definition of a dollar is a weight of silver. And that has not changed, but they just ignore that law. I believe if you take a look at my book, if there's something you don't understand in it, ask an adult to explain these things to you. It may take them, they may have to read a little bit first or find out more about it, but they'll be able to explain it to you. Or you can watch my videos. If you go to YouTube and you just search for Mike Maloney, you'll see I've got a YouTube channel that has animations. It's got a lot of videos that are daily videos. But if you look at the most viewed videos, you're going to find some that are very easy to understand that are animated, where I show you very complex economic subjects, but I break them down into pictures so that you can understand them. But if you read this book, you'll discover that I believe that very shortly, an ounce of silver, this is a U.S. silver eagle, it's 1 troy ounce of silver. I believe that very shortly, instead of, right now this is about $22 or $23, but I believe this is going to be measured over $100. It'll be worth more than this. Right now, you can get 4 of these for one of these. If you buy this, in just a few years, you're probably going to be able to get, for one of these, 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 of these. It's something that happens when you price something that is real, that is in limited supply, in a number, and then you keep on adding more and more numbers to the supply of these. This is just a number, that's all it is. If you keep on adding more and more to that supply, the value goes down. This has to become more valuable in terms of how many numbers it takes to buy this thing. So, an ounce of silver is around $20. The old silver coins are about 3/4 of an ounce of silver. Here's two different silver dollars. There's a peace dollar and a Morgan dollar. And then the new coins that the U.S. government mints are the silver eagles, $22 or something like that as we're shooting this video. It might be more later. But they're actually pretty easy to invest in. And that is one of the points of this video series, is to try to show kids that how they can get ahead in life. If you want to do well, and if your grandparents are still alive, sometimes they're retired, where they don't work anymore. Well, they're able to do that. If they live decently, they're able to do that because they made some plans for their future. And so it's actually good for you to right now start thinking about that. Do you want to be rich? That is a decision, and it's something that you have to pursue. If you want to be rich, you want to be able to have nice things and live well and eat well and not worry all the time about how do I pay for this and how do I pay for that. If you want that to happen for you, you have to start thinking right now about how you're going to get ahead in life. And one of the things is to recognize true value. And when you can recognize true value and convert something that is just a piece of paper with numbers on it, or just digits that a bank typed into a bank account, if you can convert those into something that you think is going to be worth more in the future. And by that, what I mean is that more people will want it. When a whole bunch of people want the same thing at the same time, they're willing to pay more for it. They're trying to get it. They don't want the other person to have it, so they'll offer more. And when that happens, things can go up and up and up to where if you buy them when they're low, you sell them when they're high, you can buy a whole lot more stuff with that same amount in the future. It's all in here, but I believe that we are about to see the greatest gold and silver rush in history. So go to ggsr21.com. That stands for Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century. So ggsr21.com. There's a free chapter on the soup chart. You can learn how to read these pictures of numbers, because it's very easy for somebody to create a false impression, a false picture, and they can lie to you, or they can skew your perception, make it so that you think it's really something else. And so you need to see how somebody could lie to you with a chart. That's chapter 3 of this book, but it's available for free online. The other thing is, if you're interested in starting out your investment life and looking at gold and silver investing, like I said, these are a little bit over $20. There's probably a coin shop not too far from you in your town. You can look it up online. There's also websites like my own, goldsilver.com, where we actually ship these to your door, or if your parents are interested, we put it into their retirement account, their IRA, or we open up a storage account where it's guarded at a place called Brinks. Brinks is a company that brings all of the dollars to the banks and picks them up and takes them. They've got these armored cars that every once in a while you'll see out in front of a bank. And they've got these depositories where it's a big vault. And this is, like the vaults that you see in the movies have lasers, and they've got seismic detectors to detect if somebody's trying to tunnel underneath. And then on top of all of that, it's guarded with guys with guns. And so we actually open up accounts for people where they can store it inside of a vault with guys with guns guarding it for you. And we have something called InstaVault, where you can buy just 1/100th of an ounce of gold, so then it's only like $20, or a single ounce of silver, but you're actually buying part of a big bar. That we take a bar like a 1,000-ounce bar of silver, or a kilo or 100-ounce bar of gold, and we measure it, and then we divide that up in the accounting. We don't actually saw the bar up, but we divide that up so that you're owning a percentage of that bar, and you can buy more of it next month and more of it next month, and it's guarded by guys, real guys with guns. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. By the way, tell your parents about it and ask them to get you one of these. It's all in color. There's some nice explanations of how economics work and how a little bit of the history of money and the current problems in the global economy. So I want to thank you for watching this episode. Go to ggsr21.com and download those free chapters or read them there if you want. And there's some videos that you can watch where I actually go through the chapters and explain them. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series on gold and silver for kids.
If you'd like to find out more information about Mike Maloney and his books, The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century and his Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver, please visit ggsr21.com and goldsilver.com. That's goldsilver.com.